More evidence found for Kawhi Leonard allegations plus Fred VanVleet injury fallout. The NBA news cycle has been buzzing with two major storylines. Fresh developments surrounding the allegations involving Kawhi Leonard and the fallout from Fred VanVleet's recent injury. Both issues carry significant weight, not only for the players involved but also for their respective franchises and the league as a whole. Let's break down the latest updates and their potential implications. More evidence in Kawhi Leonard allegations. Kawhi Leonard has been the subject of controversy in recent weeks after allegations surfaced regarding improper dealings tied to his contract negotiations and player recruitment process. While the details initially appeared murky, new reports suggest that investigators have uncovered additional evidence that could strengthen the case against Leonard's camp. The allegations, which reportedly involve questions about improper benefits and behind-the-scenes dealings, raise serious concerns for both the Los Angeles Clippers and the league. If the evidence proves substantial, the Clippers could face organizational penalties, including fines or the loss of draft picks. The NBA has taken similar action in the past when teams were found guilty of tampering or violating collective bargaining rules, and this case could follow that precedent. For Leonard himself, the issue adds another layer of scrutiny to an already complicated tenure with the Clippers. His time in Los Angeles has been marked by injuries, load management debates, and high expectations that have yet to result in sustained postseason success. Now, with allegations swirling, Leonard faces a new challenge, protecting his reputation while continuing to compete at an elite level. Impact on the Clippers. The Clippers, who are already under pressure to deliver after assembling a star-studded roster built around Leonard and Paul George, can ill afford distractions. With their new arena opening soon and a fanbase eager for results, this investigation could not have come at a worse time. The team's front office, led by Lawrence Frank, has remained tight-lipped about the ongoing situation, but insiders believe they are bracing for potential consequences. If the NBA determines that improper actions were taken, the damage to the Clippers' credibility could be lasting. Beyond fines or penalties, the perception of the franchise could be tainted, especially at a time when they are trying to establish themselves as a legitimate power in a city dominated by the Los Angeles Lakers. For Leonard, the findings could impact not just his current contract situation but also his long-term legacy. Fred VanVleet injury fallout. Meanwhile, another major storyline is unfolding in Houston, where Fred VanVleet recently suffered an injury that could sideline him for a significant stretch. VanVleet, who signed a massive deal with the Houston Rockets last offseason, was expected to serve as the team's veteran leader, stabilizing a young roster filled with developing talent. His injury, however, now puts the Rockets in a difficult position. The fallout from VanVleet's absence is twofold. On the court, the Rockets lose their primary floor general and one of their most dependable shooters. Without him, the burden falls heavily on younger guards like Jalen Green and Amen Thompson to step up and shoulder more responsibility. While this could accelerate their development, it also risks exposing Houston's lack of veteran depth in a competitive Western Conference. Off the court, VanVleet's injury complicates the Rockets' long-term plans. Houston's front office invested heavily in VanVleet, believing his presence could speed up their rebuild and push the team toward playoff contention. If his recovery lingers or if he struggles to regain form, it could set back the franchise's timeline and force them to reconsider their roster-building strategy. Looking ahead. Both situations, the Kawhi Leonard allegations and the VanVleet injury fallout, highlight the unpredictability of the NBA. For Leonard and the Clippers, the stakes are reputational and potentially legal, with the outcome of the investigation possibly altering the team's trajectory. For VanVleet and the Rockets, the challenge is more immediate, as they must navigate a grueling season without their most experienced leader on the floor. As more evidence emerges in Leonard's case and updates surface on VanVleet's health, fans and analysts alike will be watching closely. These storylines serve as reminders that in the NBA, drama isn't confined to the hardwood. It extends to boardrooms, locker rooms, and sometimes even the courtroom.